Hey, good morning, everyone. Let's see. I want to show you what we're going to fold today. To choose the models that I'm teaching, I kind of wanted to see some things that are, unique, and I have an amazing library of books, and so I've drawn from those books as well, and I've introduced some models that people haven't seen before. But I also introduce models from books that are currently in print that we have here at Paper Tree. And one of them is this really amazing book called Snowflakes, Sunbursts, and Stars. So I've shared a couple of the models from this book already. This whole month has been stars. And so this particular model that I'm sharing with you today is from this book. And it is called a Splendor Star. Isn't that beautiful? And it does use 2 sheets of paper. Let me get the foil one here. And I recommended that you have so you need 2 different size sheets of paper. So I recommended that because the folds get really small, to use like a 10-inch and a 6-inch. You can certainly use 2 6-inch. These are both from 6-inch. And I think that, when you go larger, it's a little bit easier because these folds right in here get a little tricky to do unless you are, and foil is a little tricky too, but if you want to do foil, great. So I did these with a 6-inch and a 4-inch square. And so I'm going to show you how to cut a 4-inch from a 6-inch if you only have 6-inch. The proportion that works up for this model is 1 sheet of 6-inch and one sheet of 4-inch. And so to make a 4-inch square from a 6-inch, let me show you how to do that right now. Okay, so let's say you only have 2 sheets of 6-inch, and a great way to cut a smaller size for this model to a 4-inch is super easy. So I'm going to use this as the sample to do that. And what you want to do is basically fold it into fourths. So we're going to fold it into half this way. And then in half another way. So grab the folded edge and bring it over one more. And then unfold. And then we're going to repeat that for the other side. So you're going to rotate and fold the quarters on this side here. So we're having a total of 8 squares. Okay. So open it up. So you have your grid of 8 squares. And what all you do is you want to cut the 9 squares here. I'm sorry, did I meant you have 16 squares here. And what you want to do is just cut the 9 of it, leaving, 1 row of squares around there. That will get you the 4-inch to go along with your 6-inch. Okay, so you can go ahead and get some scissors and go ahead and cut that. So I'm going to go do that the same. So just cut along that there. And that works really well for this quick and easy way to do it. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm using double-sided paper. For the paper that I'm using for this class, there's the light blue would be the back side of the paper. And it really, for this model, you're not going to see both sides. So we're going to first work with the larger size. Okay, so if you have your 6-inch or your 10-inch, fantastic, that's great. We're going to go ahead and do some pre-creasing. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn it over to the back side of the paper. And then let's fold it into a rectangle. Okay, line up your points and let's go ahead and fold that. And then let's unfold it. Let's rotate and fold the other rectangle. And unfold that. Okay, so now that you've unfolded that, let's fold our edges to the center. So let's take this bottom edge and fold it to the center line. When you do this, you want to go up to, but not across your pre-crease line. So right up to it, but not over it. Okay, that helps with the accuracy of the model. And then let's rotate it and do the same for the other side. So we're bringing both opposite sides to the center. Let's unfold it and rotate, and let's fold the other two sides, creating your grid of 16 squares. Okay, let's rotate and fold the other one to the center. Okay. Okay, now that we have that, let's unfold it. Let's turn it over to the back or the front side of the paper. And what we want to do is fold the four corners to the middle. This blintz fold technique is actually, it's easier and it's more accurate if you do the two opposite corners first. So let's go ahead and fold the first one. Remember, it goes up to, but not across those pre-creases. Try to get it dead center there. And then rotate and let's fold the opposite side to meet that. And this tends to make it a lot more accurate when you do the other two. Hopefully you'll find that is the case. And the other two, or the final one rather. And you can use your creasing tool after this. This is a good one to have in place. Okay, so creasing tool, you do your initial fold with your hands first, and then go over it with your creasing tool. That way you don't have any shift occurring in your folding. Okay. This model is so much fun. You can just see it, you can use two different papers and colors, and it's kind of cool. Okay, so now that we have that, let's unfold and let's turn it back over. So now we're looking at the back side of the paper and we have the proper mountains and valleys in place. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create preliminary bases from the four corners. And it's an easy way of actually let's bring this one to the center here and just hold it in place there. Just make sure that the middle is there. You don't worry about this part here, because this is actually going to float open. Take the one next to it on the right side, like I'm doing here, from the middle, bring that to the center. And then this here will flatten into a preliminary base, just like that. You have all the folds in place, okay? Then you're going to continue, let's rotate. From the middle, take the next flap and bring that to the center. And then squash this one in place. All the folds, you already have all the folds in place, so it's going to just fall right in there, okay? And then we're going to rotate and do the final one, which involves two preliminary bases. So again, from the middle, bring that to the center, and then squash fold both pockets, like that. Now take your creasing tool and go around and make sure this is nice and flat. Okay. And this is actually what we're doing the same for both pieces. But let's just do this one first, and then the second one will be the repeat, and then you'll have it down. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is create petal folds from these four sections. Think of each one as a preliminary base that you're going to create, like a crane base, right? What I recommend you do first is let's take the first one here. So I'm going to take this one here, and I'm doing the far corner because I want the open end facing me. Okay. First step is to take the top flap only and fold it in half. So just swing it over to the left and bring it back to center. Now we're going to take this edge here and bring it to the center line that you just created, up to but not over the center line, like this. And the same for the other side. Bring that in. This is the ice cream cone fold maneuver. When I teach, this is, you know, what you actually do for the crane. And I always call this the ice cream. And then this triangle is your, oh, this is the cone, and then this is the ice cream. So you're going to take this triangle and let's just fold it down like this, and then unfold it. And then unfold the cone. So we're eating the ice cream and eating the cone. So now that we have that, peel open the top layer of paper, leaving this ice cream flat, and you want to use the base of the ice cream here as your hinge, like that, right? So when you stretch the paper out, see how the sides come in? Go ahead and continue. Start from the middle on one side, bring that in, and then continue for the top. For the top, you just want to pinch it because the fold is already in place there, okay? And do the same for the other side. So starting from the bottom, bring that side in. You might have to put your finger in here and open up this flap in here. Sometimes that gets a little congested. And then continue to fold the top so that it'll flatten just like this. Okay, so there's your petal fold. So we're going to repeat that for the remaining three. So I'm going to rotate my model to the next one. First step is to take the flap and fold it over to the left in half to make that center crease. Taking the bottom edge and bringing that to the center. Taking the other one, bringing that to the center. And then folding the ice cream onto your cone. So taking the triangle and folding it down. Like that. And then unfolding that flap and the cone flap. Peeling open the top layer of paper, leaving the ice cream flat, using this as your hinge. Stretch the paper out. Starting from the bottom, work your way up, bringing that whole outer edge to the center. And then flatten. Like that. I'm going to rotate. Now that you have this, go ahead and take your creasing tool and let's just go around all the edges and make it nice and flat. Kind of helps if you work from the center on out. If you don't have a creasing tool like what I'm holding, you can use a round pen like this. You can use the back of a spoon. Okay, so we have this petal fold here, for example. And you see these edges here. We're going to make mountain folds that go from the center halfway through this whole section. And it's going to end right about there. So from the center, like this. So what we're going to do is I think the best way to do this is to do a pre-crease first and then reverse the direction of that fold. So let's go ahead and start by taking this edge, the bottom part of that diamond, and bringing that to the center. So let's go ahead and put that fold in place. And really try to make sure that it comes to a point down here. Okay, so fold that one, fold the other one to the center. I can grab it. When you use a creasing tool, sometimes it's really flat. You can't grab it. Okay. Okay. So now that we have that fold in place, we're going to unfold it and then let's make it into a mountain fold. So we're going to bring it to the back side of the model. Okay. So this is kind of where it gets really small if you're doing 6-inch, right? So it goes behind it. Let's do the other one. You may have a challenge if your paper is on the thick side. But what's important about this model is this part out here, not so much here initially. But yeah, so it should look like that. And then we're going to repeat that for the other remaining 3 flaps. So it should look like this, you know, a narrow kind of dart that goes to the center. And after you finish, just go ahead and use your creasing tool so it's nice and flat. So now I did ask for you to have scissors. That's what I was going to say at the beginning is not all the models that I teach are traditional where you don't need scissors or glue. I just kind of go for the really cool model that I think you guys would enjoy to do. So this one actually it requires scissors. So go ahead and grab your scissors if you didn't get it. And now, hopefully everybody has this. We're going to make some cuts. The cut is going to be, do you see these folds that you have that split, that go between the petals? You want to make a cut starting from the outside along this line and stopping short of the center, like I'm doing, like I'm illustrating here. So you see, I left a little space from the middle. And so the proper cut, you're just cutting along that line. And we're stopping, you know, right about there. Leave a little bit of space, okay? So go ahead and make your cut. And as long as you're consistent with that distance on all the remaining 3, you're good. What we're going to do is I'm going to use this one here first. You've created 2 new flaps on either side here. What we want to do is let's take this corner here on the right, and we want to have it start from the end of the cut here and have this point line up with the center. So it's going to be like that. I hope you can see that. Okay. So it's from the end of the cut to the center. After you've made that fold, you're going to tuck it in behind that flap like that. And so that's going to be, you're going to repeat that for the remaining flaps. So again, it's starting from the end of your cut. That's why I said make it really consistent with that distance. Okay. That's going to give you a nice symmetry on your star. So after you fold it, then you tuck it in behind. So it looks like this. Okay. And then I'm going to rotate and continue. So this is what you should have. When you do finish that, take your creasing tool and let's crease those new creases that you've made. Okay. So believe it or not, that is the model. We're going to do the second one from the smaller size, and then I'll show you how we put this together. Okay, so go ahead and grab your second square, your smaller size. If you did the smaller size first, that's fine. Grab the bigger one, okay? Okay, so now I have a 7-inch that I'm working with, and we're going to repeat. So the first thing is you want to turn it to the white side or the back side of the paper first, and let's fold it into quarters. So this is the first step. Fold it in half, and then take the folded edge and fold that to the top. Nice crease. Unfold rotate. So let's see. Now we're going to fold this in half. And in half again. Unfold. Turn it over to the other side. And fold your four corners to the middle. So again, you're doing the first one right up to that dead center there, and then doing the opposite one to meet that. And then the other two. Okay. And then this one, you want to make sure that you do use your creasing tool. And make sure that that's nice and flat. Oh, I just nicked the paper. Okay. And then we're unfolding everything and turning it over. We need to make these other folds in place. Sorry, excuse me. So let's go ahead and take the outer edge and fold it to the center. So we need to make these folds go into place first. So fold both flaps in this way. Open it up and fold the other two in. We need to make sure the directions are correct on those folds. And then unfold. And then now we're going to collapse it into our four preliminary bases by taking the middle, bringing that to the center, taking the one next to it from the middle, bringing that to the center, and then you're squashing your preliminary base here. And rotate, bring that in from the middle, and collapsing and squashing the preliminary base here. Rotate, and the final one from the middle, bring that together to the center, and then squashing the final two preliminary bases in place, like that. So now that we have that, we need to do our petal folds. So taking the flap, and the first step is to swing it over to the left side because we need to create a spine for this. And then taking that bottom edge, bringing it to the center. So it's petal fold, right? Take the opposite one, bring that to the center. If you already remember this, just go for it. Just continue and fold. Fold the triangle down. Put that crease in place. Unfold that, unfold the two flaps. Peel away the top layer, leaving this flat, stretching the paper out, and starting from the bottom, working your way up to the top. And it should fall into place like that. And keep going. But don't forget to do that spine fold first. Fold the whole thing in half first. And then go ahead and do your petal folds. Okay. And then helpful to use your creasing tool from the center. Okay, so let's go ahead and take your flap, swing it over, and then take that edge and bring it to your center crease like that, and replacing. So let's go ahead and narrow all of the petal folds. Same thing that we did with the other one. So rotate. The next step is to make your cut. And remember, you want to stop just shy of the center, but you want to make that distance equal for all four flaps. Okay, so after you've got the petal, after you do that, you do want to make sure that you use your creasing tool first. Always helps. Now you can go ahead and make your cuts from the outside, right along those pre-creases up to the center. And I also asked if you have some glue stick, because we have to glue these two pieces together. Okay. So if you remember, this step here is to take this flap and you want to have it start from the end cut and lining up this point with the center of the petal fold. So it goes like that. And after you fold it, you tuck it in behind that flap like that. So you have that. After you've done those and tucked all those flaps in, go ahead and use your creasing tool and go around. This fold is kind of like modulars, where it's like repetitive fold. You kind of try to make everything real consistent. And if you have like one wrong flap, you go, oh, let me see if I could correct it. You know, there's always ways to kind of, you want to shoot for perfection, basically. That just kind of makes, in this case, it makes a nice, accurate, clean model. Okay, so hopefully everybody's got 2 of these stars. And now this is like the hardest part, is gluing this thing together. I'm just kidding. It's so easy. You're basically just going to put one on top of another. You want to have the small one first, and then the larger one goes on top. Just like that. So you can go ahead and put glue stick, and really the only point is right here in the center. Okay.
Is there a top and a bottom?
No, it should be consistent. It should be even, and then just placing the centers on top of each other, and it should look like this. And that's why they have the smaller size. You know, this is the 2-inch difference from a 6-inch, and this is 10 and actually 7-inch. So yeah, isn't that cool? And just make sure that center is glued really well right through the center. And that is your beautiful Splendor Star.